Welcome to Sports Cube's live show. It is February 7th today, and it is Super Bowl Sunday. We finally made it. It's been a long road here, but we are finally here. Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl starting in about 2 hours. Here, Sports Cube, we're going to bring you live takes on the Super Bowl, what we think is going to happen, what I think is going to happen. And is Patty Mahomes going to be able to outlast the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? I don't know. We're going to see, but so we have on the slate today. What do we got? We got NFL, of course, Super Bowl. We've got the Premier League in soccer, a shocking loss today for Liverpool. They lost today. That was not good for them. They got blown out by Man City. We'll get into that. Hockey, of course, we'll always touch on that. And then basketball, a big trade for the New York Knicks. Could this propel them into the playoffs? All this and much more. We're going to get right into it. So let's go. Let's just start off with the Super Bowl. So we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by Tom Brady, who is probably the greatest of all time, and the only reason I say that is because here's my theory with it. Tom Brady, clearly one of the best players of all time, one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But if he loses to Patrick Mahomes today, then I think you can make an argument that Patrick Mahomes could be better than him in the long run. Right? Because we know Tom Brady's won 6 rings. He's looking for a 7th today. If he wins today, there's going to be no argument. Even if Patrick Mahomes goes on to have this great career, wins 7 rings, he's still not going to be as good as Brady because he lost his head-to-head matchup with Brady. Now, if Mahomes does win today, there's an argument to be made that he could be better in the long run than Brady. Yet, Brady still has 6 rings. If Mahomes wins, he'll have 2. Right? But here's the thing. Mahomes wins, and then he goes on to have this great, successful career than Brady. People could argue, and I think I'm still going to go Tom Brady just because I grew up with him. I know Tom Brady. I would still go that he's the greatest of all time. Although, I got to say, if you think about it this way, Patrick Mahomes has been so successful in his first few years. He was drafted in 2017. He's been so successful in his years at quarterback with the Kansas City Chiefs. Not to say he's had amazing weapons around him. Tyreek Hill, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, although I would go Julio Jones or Michael Thomas last year because Michael Thomas last year was insane. Right? You got tight end, you got the best tight end in the league in Travis Kelce. You got a great running back now. You picked up Le'Veon Bell from the Jets. I'm a Jets fan. That did hurt me. And also, you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, an astonishing rookie as well. In that team, if we go over to the Buccaneers, Tom Brady joined them. They are also stacked with weapons. These are the 2 teams that should be in the Super Bowl this year. We have, with the Buccaneers, you got Tom Brady at quarterback. You got 3 star wide receivers. Just think about that. Mahomes really only has 1. I guess you can count Sammy Watkins if you want. Mahomes only has 1. Brady has 3. He has Mike Evans, who is a superstar wide receiver. Chris Godwin, who's been a little prone with injury, but he's still amazing. And you have Antonio Brown, who you just picked up off waivers. Even though Antonio Brown has his own problems, you still picked him up. So if you think about it, Brady and the Buccaneers, not to mention they also have Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette in the backfield, they're both amazing. Their teams are amazing offensively. Now, here's where I think what it comes down to in this Super Bowl. It's going to come down to defense. It's going to totally depend on who can outlast each other defensively. The secondaries of both teams are they're okay. This is going to be a very high-scoring game. We know that much. My prediction for this game, 27. Give me 27. Buccaneers 24 for the Chiefs. I think Tom Brady outlasts Mahomes in this one. And then you get 51. I'm taking the under. Of course, over-under is 56. And we go back to defenses. Tampa Bay's, of course, defense coordinator, Todd Bowles. Kansas City, Steve, I don't know how to pronounce his name that well. Steve Spagnuolo, I'm going to say it. Are there 2 creative minds? They're fertile minds of the business, and they've had 2 weeks to piece each other's game plans together. Now, who's going to come out on top? Of course, when Bowles was with the Jets, he was extremely defensive-minded. It worked for the Jets in 2015. They went 10-6, I think. They're 1 game off the playoffs. But you got to think, Todd Bowles, he loves to blitz. He loves to throw the blitz at Mahomes. Is Mahomes going to be able to outlast that? He loves using Jason Pierre-Paul, who's the defensive end, on the Buccaneers. Listen, I honestly think that this is going to be super high scoring. I see the third quarters being the most high scoring. That's just my prediction. 27-24. Give me 27-24 in this one. And if Brady wins, he is undoubtedly the greatest of all time. Without a doubt. Don't even argue with me about that. He is the best of all time. As much as I'm a Jets fan, he's the best of all time. And then we go to the offensive side of the ball. Chiefs have allowed touchdowns and this is going to pertain to the when they play the Buccaneers today. Their defense has allowed 76.6% of touchdowns when in the red zone. So only a quarter of those turned into field goals on red zone possessions. Worse than any other team in the league, and the worst mark by a Super Bowl team in the past 20 years. Now you think about that. Brady loves to be in the red zone. That defense for the Chiefs is not very good, and Brady is, I'm just going to say, he's the best at reading defenses. He will exploit the little pockets. He will throw in those tight windows. Again, he's Gronk, his best friend is a tight end too. He's the best. He's the best. Are the Chiefs going to be able to throw more? Because the defenses are going to play like crap. They're going to be terrible today. I'm telling you that much. The defenses are going to be bad. There's going to be an interception in the game. Whether it comes from Brady, he threw 3 last weekend, or 2 weekends ago in Green Bay. That was a bad stunt for him. But you got to think. I think, come on. Give it to Tom Brady. I'm going 27-24. Give me the Buccaneers in this one. Now let's talk about the halftime show. You got The Weeknd. And here's the thing. This isn't your traditional halftime show. The Weeknd himself, he put in $7 million of his own dollars into this halftime show to make it super special. I love The Weeknd. They're a great artist. That'll be in the middle Pepsi halftime show. Super Bowl 55, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. First time ever for a home team to play at their stadium in the Super Bowl. 6:30 p.m. About 6:30 p.m. on CBS. Battle of the defenses. Who's going to come out more? I'm going Tom Brady. You argue that with me. I'm taking Tom Brady. Give me Brady all the way in this one. Listen, I might be wrong. We'll see what happens. But in my opinion, we're going with Brady. He's going to win. That's it. That's going to be it. Also, not to mention, I was doing some prop bets with my friends. We did a prop bet on commercials. Here, if I bring it up right here in my sheet. The over-under for commercials. Now, you guys let me know on Instagram. DM me. 92.5 over-under of how many Super Bowl commercials there are going to be. Dolly Parton is in a commercial. We know that. And so is Bruce Springsteen, I think. He's going to be in a commercial as well. Over-under. I put the under in this one. Honestly, come on. How many commercials can you really have? Everybody loves Super Bowl commercials, but sometimes they just get trashy. I think there'll probably be a COVID vaccine one in there. And these are all prop bets. Biggest prop bet, I think, what color Gatorade are we going to see? What color Gatorade is going to be dumped on the winning coach? I take yellow, lime, green. I love yellow, lime, green Gatorade, by the way. That's my favorite. That's my favorite flavor. But going back to commercials, Brady and Gronk are going to be in a T-Mobile commercial. That should be a fun one. And we'll see what happens. But that's my Super Bowl coverage for you. I'm taking the Buccaneers 27-24 over, under. I'm taking the under 56.5. Brady, they cover the spread. It's 3.5. Plus 3.5 for the Buccaneers. They cover the spread. And that is that for the Super Bowl. And other news in the NFL. Why don't we just pan over to the QB situation? Come on. You got Stafford and who? Jared Goff. Goff is off to Detroit, and I gotta say, Detroit won this trade by a mile. Come on. That's not even funny. Detroit won so much. They got 2 first-round picks, Goff, and they only had to give up Stafford, which I do think Stafford is better. But if the Rams don't do something in the next 2 years with Stafford, then it's gonna that's gonna be horrendous for them. They basically have to win the Super Bowl with Stafford in the next 2 years, or they screw themselves in that trade. That was a really bad trade for them, in my eyes, because I don't see them getting back to the Super Bowl. They don't have offensive weapons. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, that's great. But can you compete with Mike Evans or not DeAndre Hopkins, although he is in the NFC. My boy Davante Adams. Can you compete with that? Your wide receiver core is not as strong as these other teams. in my opinion. Now, of course, we are taking callers today, so make sure to call into the Sports Cube Show, 929-357-4699. Call in. You'll be featured on the show. We'll talk about it. Any questions you got, any sports questions, really anything, call in. We'll take your call, 929-357-4699. Back to the NFL quarterback situation. I'm a New York Jets fan. And most of the people that are listening to our show right now are probably from New York or the New York metro area, wherever you are. But, in my opinion, I think you got to trade for Deshaun Watson. You got to trade for Deshaun. Otherwise, you're sitting with Sam Darnold. Again, Sam Darnold is a mediocre quarterback. He's mediocre. He's okay at best. But the Jets, if they really want to win, they have to sign people like Allen Robinson in the offseason. Aaron Jones, both free agents, and New York could definitely have the second highest cap space in the league at $80 million. And then you trade Darnold down to Houston with 2 first-round picks. You don't give up the second pick. You give up like the 22nd and then 2023's first-rounder, in my opinion. And you give up Darnold. So Houston gets Darnold, 2 first-round picks, and we get Deshaun Watson. The Jets get Deshaun Watson. Kind of like the Detroit and the Rams trade. It's upgrading your quarterback, but you're giving up 2 first-round picks. Is it worth it? By all means. Deshaun Watson has asked for a trade out of Houston. He will be out of Houston, without a doubt. You got to think about it. If the Jets want to be contenders, you got to trade for someone. You got to sign free agents. You have to have some talent. Their defense has always been good. It's been like mediocre. It's good. But, again, you can't be contenders without a superstar wide receiver core, like most of the people in the NFL, or a star running back. They had a star running back, and then they cut him because they didn't like Le'Veon Bell, which I think is going to somewhat scare people away a little bit from signing with the Jets, saying that they had Le'Veon Bell, and they just let him walk away. So we'll see what happens. We got a call incoming. Let's take the call.
Call from.
Hello, caller.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the Saints having to... Hello?
Yeah,
what do you guys
hear
think about... Yeah.
Go ahead.
What do you think about the Saints having to possibly drop certain people, considering that they're way over budget?
Well, we know that they're $90 million over the cap space, about $99 million. So here's my opinion: they cut Drew Brees, or they just force him into retirement. So you eliminate some right now. You get that out of there. Where I think they're going to have to cut is probably the defense. I mean, caller, wouldn't you agree that they have an amazing offensive core? They just don't have a quarterback. Oh. But their defense is like, okay. But they're going to want to keep people like Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. And the way to do that is having to cut the defense. What do you think?
Yeah. Do you think the Jets could possibly benefit from this?
I think the Jets could, to be honest with you. They signed some defensive players from the Saints. The Jets need all the depth they can get, really, and they have huge cap space. They're basically the opposite. They're the opposite of the Saints right now. They have so much cap space. So much. So I think that'll happen. What do you think? Any other questions? What is your prediction for the Super Bowl? Who you got today?
I'm saying I think the Chiefs are going to win.
How much?
Maybe, I would say, maybe 27 to, I don't know. I think it'll be less than it'll be a 1 touchdown difference. I don't think it'll be a huge difference.
You think Tom Brady's going to have a good game, or he's going to be lackluster?
Oh, I think he'll have a good game, but he's also proving to Belichick that he doesn't need him to get to the Super Bowl.
I mean, you got to think, though, the only reason he's at the Super Bowl is because he has people like Chris Godwin, Ronald Jones, Antonio Brown, and Chris Godwin with him.
Yeah. I mean, he has a great offense, which could potentially pose a threat to the Chiefs. Personally, I think their defense will, and their star offense, especially with stars like Tyreek Hill, will be able to carry them to victory. But it'll be a very interesting game to see.
You think Tyreek Hill's going to have more than 100 yards?
I think so. I think Tyreek is going to be a main option for the Chiefs, considering that he's so fast. I think it might be a bit hard for the Bucs to guard him.
You know, honestly, I think Tyreek Hill is such a great player, and he's like one of the best in the game, without a doubt. But you got to think, he had a little scandal like last year, 2 years ago, but I think he's rebounded from that, and I think he can lead the Chiefs to victory today if Patrick Mahomes can get him open in scrimmage.
Do you think there's any residual effects from Patrick Mahomes' possible concussion that might affect the Super Bowl?
Yes, I do think that. You know, honestly, caller, I think that he's still concussed, to be honest with you. I don't know what you think. But he definitely had a concussion in that game, without a doubt. He had a concussion, and he's going to be playing concussed. I don't think they should have cleared him for that game. But again, I don't think it matters. Patrick Mahomes can scramble. He's literally probably the best quarterback right now in the NFL, aside for Brady. So that's my opinion on the matter. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think that, especially playing in the game after, was a bit of a risky decision. Although you do have to take into account that without Mahomes, the team would be significantly worse. And they possibly might have not even gotten into the Super Bowl, but I think there might be some lasting effects that will affect the Super Bowl.
Caller, we got some breaking news. The Knicks have acquired Derrick Rose on a trade for Dennis Smith Jr. and a second-round pick. How do you think this is going to affect the New York Knicks?
I think, I would say the Knicks, they're definitely going to be positively affected by it, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to use him effectively.
I mean, do you think the Knicks can make the playoffs?
I think they have a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, they're looking better than they have been compared to some other years.
What were your thoughts on when Kyrie didn't play for a week in that little stretch in January? Do you think he should have quit basketball?
I think it was a bit suspicious as to why he did not play. He didn't really list reasons from what I understand, but I'm not sure exactly what he was going for.
That was an amazing caller. He gave a lot of input. And hey, he doesn't think the Knicks are going to make the playoffs. I don't know. They're looking better than most teams right now. I think the Knicks are making the playoffs. They're going to get in. They're going to get in the playoffs. 8 seed. They're not going to take, but they're going to get number one. They're not going to beat the number one seed, which will probably be the 76ers or the Bucks, to be honest with you. But, so that trade, let's break it down. Knicks are acquiring Derrick Rose for Dennis Smith Jr. and a second-round pick. Now, of course, the Knicks did have Derrick Rose before in around 2012, 2014. I don't know the exact numbers. But Derrick Rose has been on the Knicks before. They traded for him for Chicago. Then he got injured and his whole career just fell off a cliff. This could be a comeback time for D Rose. This could be a comeback time. And this could be big for the Knicks. This could be huge for the Knicks, to be honest with you. The Knicks are an okay team. Their players are outperforming. Nobody expected them to be this good. They're outperforming each other. Julius Randle is playing way better than he should be. RJ Barrett has been doing okay. Everybody wants to see Emmanuel Quickley. Put the guy in. Tom Tibbs, put Emmanuel Quickley in the game. Okay? That'll make the Knicks successful. Let's move on to some other news now. LaMelo for Rookie of the Year, without a doubt, in basketball. Wow, I'm going to take a pause right here. And speaking of, why don't we mention our new partnership with Wilson Sports? SportsCube has partnered with Wilson Sports. If you use our link in our Instagram bio, you get 20% off any of the select products on that page. So make sure to go check that out. Big partnership for us. You're going to want to use that discount code. It gets you a lot of money off, and you'll be very satisfied. So go check that out. Special, also, sportscube.com, sportscubepodcast.com. Go to the merch shop. 20% off right now until Valentine's Day. You will get your merch by Valentine's Day. So make sure to check that out. Wilson.sportscubepodcast.com for Wilson Sports. SportsCubePodcast.com for SportsCube merch. All of this 20% off, so go use that discount code now. All right, let's move into our next subject. The Premier League. Listen, Man United choked yesterday. They're up 3-2 going into the 90th minute of the game. 95th minute, which honestly the game should be over by that point, but whatever. 95th minute of the game. And guess what happens? Everton score. Free kick from about halfway out. Bounces off the Everton. Calvert-Lewin for Everton is there to put it in. 3-3. United draw. And man, that is a horrible, horrible defeat for them. City's now atop the league. It's about 50 to 45 right now. City's at 50 points. United is at 45. Now, the reason City's at 50 is because they beat Liverpool at Anfield today. Liverpool is one of the biggest players in soccer. So, Liverpool did lose. They got routed. It was 1-1, and then City just took the game away. Alisson, the goalkeeper for Liverpool, is the one to blame. He had two terrible mistakes that gave City the win in this one. He's the one to blame for the loss today. He played awful. Awful. Terrible. Speaking of soccer, in about a week and a half now, 10 days-ish, the Champions League is returning. So we have some great round of 16 matchups. We'll do another live show for that. And also, we'll do another live show either tonight or tomorrow after the Super Bowl. To break down the Super Bowl, we'll bring on some very special guests to break it down with you. Other news in hockey, the Rangers are off to a slow start. They play tomorrow against the Islanders, both at the bottom of their division, but the reason for this is because both the teams are so good. All the teams in the East Division are extremely skilled. So it's the hardest division in the league. Listen, the Rangers are a young team. I don't expect them to make the playoffs this year. But listen, they have a young core. They got Alexis Lafreniere. They're doing great. I'm proud of them for where they are, but David Quinn needs to work stuff out in that team. T-minus an hour and a half to the Super Bowl. I hope you all are ready. I got my chili ready to go. We're going to have a great night tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, two of the best athletes in sports. We're going at it tonight. Aaron Rodgers is going to be looking on from the sidelines. He is pretty sad about it, and I would be sad too. He had a chance. I thought he was going to win that game. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions in a row. Green Bay did nothing with it. What are you going to do? So, that's about it for our live show. Listen, it's been great to be with you guys. T-minus an hour and a half to the Super Bowl. We are ready to go. I think, again, Tom Brady's going to come out on top in this one. Live reaction after the bowl. We'll give that to you. So until then, peace out, and we will see you after the Super Bowl. It's been great. Everyone have a great Super Bowl.